Wow. Look at
Thank you,
that. Jess,
Janice.
you look amazing.
That's a compliment. And sounds about right, Janice, because TSA just told me I was all around perfect, Jason.
And what do I get? Shit, Janice.
I mean, how did you go through
No love.
TSA?
No love. This happens to me every Friday the 13th, being named Jason. It just
Oh, yeah.
nothing but disrespect.
You're
Um,
perfect too. I mean, you know
so
how that's
happy.
like a moment of pride when TSA tells you chef's kiss. Like I take it very personally. I was all around perfect today for TSA.
The high bar you have there, Miss Von
100%.
Bank. Yes, exactly. So,
Oh,
welcome everyone. Happy Friday the 13th. Hope everyone is having a great day. Hope everyone has had a great week. Jess and I happen to be in the uh, same city, only and in the same airport, only at completely opposite ends of the airport, which is funny, yet kind of typical. So great to see everyone, and let's get going. Um, how is everyone? Let's get started with that. Green, yellow, red. Green, great. Yellow, so. How's your week been? How's your Friday the 13th? Who's your favorite Friday the 13th character? Uh, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Kendra's here, David's here, Jen's here,
interesting.
uh,
13,
Rachel's
all good.
here, Opal. Oh, yeah. I mean,
Your
Opal's here.
golden birthday, Lynn's golden birthday was Friday the 13th.
Oh,
Between,
cool.
yeah.
Oh, I'm a 13th baby, Megan, also. So 13 is all good. Well, we have a lot of greens, Jess.
I know, this is good. We're trending green today. That's good. For
Look at
bringing
Tilly.
shout out to
Look at Tilly's comment. Closing rough week closing out objectives cycles.
what is an objectives cycle?
I wanted to see if you were going to say that. Objectives, like I believe it's like objectives, like your goals.
Yeah.
I don't
Like
know if that's what it is, but I'm thinking
I
that's what
think
it
I
is.
hear that and I think sprint. Like,
Yeah, like my OKR. Exactly. That's the first thing.
yeah.
Why are we still doing performance objectives and goals? Yeah, Tilly, I hope you've got some AI agents that you're managing as part of your objectives. Anyway, Bryce, there are definitely grand ideas for the 300th meetup. Yes, can't reveal them yet, but there's definitely some grand ideas brewing. So thank you for calling that out, Bryce.
And I don't think we
Uh,
have to, I don't think we're on pace for that. I don't think we have to miss any Fridays between now and March 27th. So our 300th meetup will indeed
we
land
have
on
a
that
really
Friday.
special guest planned for that day. So that's exciting.
Sorry for the background noise. I'll mute strategically when I need
Tell
to.
everyone the name of the place you're at.
Specifically inside the Charleston airport, I'm in a restaurant called Beer Works. And
Beer Works.
it happens to be right next to my gate. Unfortunately, I don't drink beer, but I did get a Diet Coke. It's me, I'm the guest. JC, our producer, will be. That sounds about right. We should have our producer come front and center with us on episode 300 and the
We will
cat.
have that producer for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
A lot
But
of greens. Jess, how are you?
I'm good. I'm green. I think I'm green. It's really a beautiful day in Charleston, South Carolina. And Jason and I are both heading to our home city of Minneapolis, where we're going to hit 50, Jason. I don't know if you saw that in our forecast. So all of our snow is going to melt. It's a 3-day weekend, President's Day, I believe, on Monday, which means my kids are playing a softball tournament every 3-day weekend. And it's Valentine's Day weekend. So
Yeah,
all
so
good.
I want to hear about everyone. Like, put in the chat, like either the gift that you got someone for Valentine's Day, or as we were in the green room, Valentine's Day or Galentine's Day or whatever you want to call it, or a plan, that one of the things that you have planned for Valentine's Day. Jess, you and I actually talked about this morning based on what you and your partner and family are doing.
Yeah.
Is it a secret? Can you talk about it here, or is it?
My kids don't know yet, so I guess it's a secret for them. I did a spontaneous move this morning, and I bought tickets to go see Blue Man Group in Minneapolis with my kids. I have never seen Blue Man Group as many times as I've probably been to Vegas 50, 60, 100 times. I don't even know. I've never seen Blue Man Group. I was going to take them to the theater. They love dressing up and going out and doing something fancy. So I looked at theater options in Minneapolis this weekend. Macbeth is playing, and I have not seen Macbeth, and I actually couldn't remember what it was about. It looks a little gruesome. So I went Blue Man Group for Valentine's Day. Uh, yeah,
I
I'm
like Blue
excited to
Man
see
Group, but
them.
I'm not sure it's really romantic. If that's the
Nah,
vibe, if that's the vibe you're going for.
nah, my kids just want a reason to get out on the town in the city. We don't do family. Everybody's so busy. We don't like, I don't remember to do family unit stuff enough. And so that's what I was going for. Exactly, Rachel. Girls' night. Except I am letting the man
Join
yes.
the
He
man,
can come.
letting the
Yeah.
man join. Rachel, I
Yes.
love your comment there where you said my boyfriend told me to carve out 6 p.m. He doesn't have a best rec. I am going to do that with Heather right now, even though I have no plan. But
And make her think it's
that way
yeah.
it looks like I have a plan. Rachel, I bet that's your boyfriend. I bet he has no plan at all, but he just said 6 p.m. just to
Yeah.
make sure that it was there.
He's
Um,
scrambling right now.
like the fact I would pay a lot of money to see you and Opal at Blue Man Group. Jess, like that would be the energy would be off the charts
I would
on
I
that
would pay
one.
money too. Opal, next time we're in the same city, I'm finding something to make happen, Blue Man Group or otherwise.
Yes. Any other Valentine's plans? I'd love to see them. I don't have any. So as Jess knows, as I talked to her about first thing this morning,
Well, now
which I
you
need
know
to.
Macbeth is an option.
Yes, do need to. I do need to get. I do need to get working on this. Oh, look at that! Look at Leah. Allie's in town. We were talking about Allie uh, earlier today. Actually, interestingly enough, and she's celebrating it with my fiance and I. We celebrate our first Valentine's Day with her 6 years ago. Very cool.
Wow. Very cool.
Look at yeah. This is like growing up right before our eyes. Um, what's your one big thing, Jess? What's your one big thing for the week? Everyone, put in your one big thing or your oh shit moment. Um, Jess had the opportunity to speak. Well, had the opportunity. I had the opportunity to invite Jess to speak to my class last night in Charleston. And one big thing travels. So the way we started the class last night was
Mm.
the class talking about their one big thing.
Mhm.
But Jess, what's yours?
I love seeing that. Uh, Well, you give them the option to share one big thing or an OSM, an oh shit moment.
Right,
But
exactly.
even when given the choice, everybody shared one big thing. I didn't hear a lot of
Yeah,
OSMs
yeah,
in
yeah.
class last night. I think my one big thing, I mean, it's got to be coming and teaching the class, spending time with young people who are full of curiosity, questions, concerns, maybe, but they're thinking about their future. We had coffee with one young woman who's graduating in May, and she's kind of having an OSM about that very thing. But what great people. Like, I'm jealous that you get to fill up on this energy every week, Jason, with these students. Like, I
I
guess
really
I
do.
get that through I mean, I
Yeah,
get that from diverse daisies too, so I know. But when you are spending time with the future, not just your own kids and stuff, it really does change your perspective a little bit. You know, you sort of remember what you're doing all of this for, and it grounds you a little bit differently in how to. I found myself shifting some of my usual language, remembering my audience is a little different. They're not jaded yet. They don't know what they don't know. You know, it changes your perspective. So I have to say that's definitely one big thing.
it's cool. Jessica finished. Thank you, Jess. Jessica finished her second book of the year, getting her reading
She's my
habits
fellow,
back.
my Jessica. We need a book club together. You got to tell you send me a message privately or public. I need to know what you're reading and add to my list because you have good taste.
Opal, first all hands meeting presenting at Darwin Box. That's exciting. Congratulations. Tracy figured out she does have hobbies. Cool. Cindy's wrapping up an HR AI course. Lance has a big
Good.
professional announcement. Does Lance seem like he always has amazing announcements? Like Lance
Lance is a
always has
smart
amazing.
dude.
Yeah, Lance always
Yeah.
has stuff going on. Um, let's see. I who never uh, I
Somebody
who
asked
have
what
never known
students
men was our group's. Oh, sorry, I can't even
most
fucking
recently.
read.
Oh,
I
it's
who have
called
never known men.
Add to Your Lists. Interesting, JC. I will.
What about a
Jason,
man?
somebody
Should a
asked
man
earlier.
read that to the list?
Yeah, everybody
JC?
should.
Okay.
I'm already answering for JC. Everybody should. Somebody asked earlier in the chat, Jason, what do your students usually share for OBTs?
Oh, you guys, students at when you're a senior in college, let me take you back to the day. Um, you're in Jess said it really well. It is an oh shit moment. It's a combination of excitement, um, like uh, I think I shared it with you at breakfast, Jess. I got a text this morning from a student who has a big interview today and was asking me for some last minute advice. Um, we had a student, Jess mentioned we had coffee with a student yesterday who who really is about to get her degree, but has no idea, like literally no idea what she wants to do. And kind of Jess did a really great job of repositioning it as that's not a bad thing. That's an opportunity. And then, if anyone's been following I don't even know what to call it, the AI news blitz over the
People,
last
yeah,
48 hours,
headlines.
where they're talking about, if you don't have AI skills, you don't, you're going to have, it's going to be, I mean, I hope that we're getting to the point of normalizing AI where it becomes like Zoom. Like, hey, if you don't know how to use Zoom, you might have a hard time joining the meetup. Well, if you don't know how to use AI, you might have a hard time finding a job. If you don't know how to use Word, you might have a hard time like sending out an
Yeah.
email if you're a Microsoft shop. I think we're getting to that point with AI, but it's fascinating to watch, and it's causing a lot of confusion. So I have to say, you guys, like the way that I'm teaching this class this time is, and Jess, thank you for calling it out yesterday. I didn't even thank you for it. Is Jess said, I bet Jason didn't say at the start of the class, don't use AI. I bet he said you're going to get an F if you don't use AI. So like for them, like every single week, the fact that I'm pushing them to try something new is their oh shit moment. I have a kid who goes, I have been trying to save money for 9 months to build a website for my TikTok air freshener business.
Hmm.
And the fact that I learned from you last week how to build a website in 5 minutes, I now have a full website and my sales went up 400%.
Mm.
And I was like that to me, that's the kind of stuff we hear a lot of that. Back to the question about who said that what's their one big thing.
And I bet his website is more of a merch shop. Even the idea of if I were launching a new business as a small business, like a Kickstarter type, the right question is, do I need a website? Not how do I save money to build a website like we used to do for all the things. Like, so he probably has it because he has a product to sell. So you need a merch shop, like you need a storefront. But I love that we're like ripping up so many old questions. Like, what do you need for a business? A TikTok account and a storefront online. Really. That's why I'm so excited for these young people. They're gonna hustle like nobody's business and they have such a clean slate to work from.
Yeah, Katie, I love the fact that you say you're listening to Co Intelligence. Ethan is speaking at Unleash,
Mm, yeah.
and is a great person to follow on LinkedIn or X. So highly recommend following him. I know there's people that are against X for various reasons, but X is a very good source for a lot of things that I know people don't like what it stands for and like the people that it stands for, et cetera, et cetera. But it is a good source, and he's very, very good on that. Um, so yeah, I mean, so you guys, my one big thing is pretty easy this week. My son, who's 18, Alex, who I talk about quite a bit, kind of had his first big breakup, and
Yeah.
um, helping him through that was definitely a big thing for me. Um, and well, us, or excuse me, I'll just say me, as older, uh, have been through it a few times. You forget about the fact that when it's your first and you don't know if it's your last and you don't have a ton of confidence about what your future holds and things like that, it's a very, very different situation. So, um, not that spending time with you, Jeff, is not one big thing, but like helping him through that and helping him understand that, dude, you're 18.
Yeah.
You have a long life ahead. You're smart, you're intelligent, that people like you. But like, I feel bad doing the breaking up. Like, it'd be easier if someone broke up with me. I'm like,
Oh,
oh, yeah, but like, you have to be happy. So if you're happy, guess what? You're going to make other people happy. If they're not happy, it's probably not the right person.
you want to do a quick poll, Jason? Literally 2 seconds.
You're not going to do you're not going to, oh my gosh.
Okay, you
I was
guys.
torn. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
When you know that you want to break up, is it right to do it a week or so, 10 days or so before Valentine's Day, get it over with, rip off the band aid, or coast through Valentine's Day, execute Valentine's Day, and do it after? I had a very strong opinion. I told you, Jason.
Oh my
Alex did
God.
it right.
So,
Alex did it right. Yes, do it
wow, look at
before.
this. Holy cow.
See, I told you.
Oh my gosh, you guys. So,
Jason was the only person in Alex's entire life that said, just wait.
I said,
I'm
just
like,
wait.
no.
Like, she's going to be heartbroken. Um, and then Alex goes, no. He said, Valentine's Day is 10 days away. I was like, 10 days is not that long. He's like, in my lifetime, that's a long time. In your lifetime, I get it, it's not that long. Um, but anyway, all that being said, yes.
So tell Alex he did the right thing. Everybody agrees. Just be real and be heartful and all of that, but get it done.
Oh, Tracy, I like that. Valentine's is a Hallmark holiday. Speak your truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Cheaper to keep her.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I do have her Valentine's present still on my credit card as a charge. So I'm curious as to what happens with that.
Well, that was a nice gift. I'll buy it from Alex. Tell him I wear that brand.
Okay, perfect.
I'll
So
take it off
Jess,
your hands.
let's bring on our guest today because we've wasted enough time. Or excuse
Yes.
me. So I always wonder if people like the first 20 minutes of this, but let's move on to our guest.
Yes. Well, I'm so excited to have Reeva on. I had the chance to collaborate with Reeva well, I should remember it was Thanksgiving Day in the US, and part of Mercer has a practice. I'm always amazed at how big our firm is and how many practice areas and experts we have in other parts of the business. Hi, Reeva. And so we had a mental health well-being sort of event hosted out of our London offices. Their event, which was in person, everybody was together in person in London, but it was Thanksgiving Day in the United States. I'm like, I'll zoom in for this one, which I was so happy to do. And one of the reasons I was so happy to do that, not only is the subject matter amazing and important, but I got to meet Reeva and learn about her business. Hi, Reeva. Thanks for having the more time to spend with us. I feel like we've gotten to hang out over the last couple of months.
I
I'm
know.
like, you've got to
Great,
come on our
great to be
show.
here. Yeah, and I've loved listening to the first 20 minutes. It was not what I was expecting at all, and I loved it.
And Reva,
We
I have not talked to you before, and I was dying when Jess said that that she met you in London. I was waiting for your accent. I was like, I wonder if she's going to have
Yeah.
an accent or not. Are you from London, or tell us about you?
Well, fun fact, I was actually born in Manhattan, although my accent doesn't sound like it at all. And I now live between New York and London, so I live between the two.
Wow, like in the water? No, sorry, that was a bad dad joke. The Jess, don't shake your head at me like that. I just love that accent. Um, Reva, do you like people that have US accents as much as I like people that have European accents, or does it just go one way?
No, no, I do like it. I think I actually feel like sometimes I wish I had more of an American accent. Like I think a hybrid is cool. Yeah, an English accent can sound a bit stuffy sometimes, like a bit too posh. Whereas I feel like the American accent, you can have like the conversation that you had at the beginning, whereas the English would never do that. They're too like reserved and don't
Ah,
Well,
talk
I
about
love your
personal
accent.
things.
If I just close my eyes, I know we're going to talk about stress, but your accent relieves my stress just listening to it.
I'm glad to hear that.
so I was telling Jason a little bit about the business that you founded and the science behind it. But before we even get to that, because that's a super fun conversation I can't wait to get to, maybe the business name, JC will be happy to drop some links in the chat so everybody can follow you and look you up and stuff. Walking on Earth, where did that come from? Of course, you go by the acronym, but give everybody a little background to your business and where it came from.
Yeah, so our acronym is WONE, WONE, which stands for Walking on Earth. And it's actually a quote from this Zen Buddhist philosopher called Thich Nhat Hanh. And he says, so the quote is, the real miracle is not walking on water or walking on air, but walking on earth. And that actually every day we're engaged in this miracle, like the blue sky, the green leaves, the world around us. And the way that we interpret that one is that we're so busy, we're so stressed, with the noise in our heads, that we actually fail to see the beauty of the world,
Mm.
like the miracle around us. And so the real kind of lofty purpose of one, and that's why it's our name, because it reminds us of the power of connection to ourselves, to those around us, and to the world that we walk on together. And a lot of it comes down to, the problem that actually modern life trains us to override these signals of listening to our body, listening to our environment. And a lot of that is now causing the stress. And if we can learn to better listen to the signals, not override them, then actually that will create a much healthier, happier future. So that's the lofty, wider name that actually not many people ask about. So it's nice to start with that question.
Well, the fact that you have such an amazing story about the name,
Mm.
like, I'm already sold.
I
Yeah,
know, isn't
that's
that beautiful?
yeah, it really is.
Like I
Yeah.
literally, based on that, I wouldn't care what your business sold, Reva. This is kind of the conversation I had with Jason's students last night about entrepreneurialism. Like
Mm.
you could sell watches, you could sell, like I believe in what you just said. And I'm like, whatever she sells must be good because yes. and
I
and
love
we were
that.
talking about sort of brand and platform last night. I'm like, you guys,
Mm.
don't forget to articulate a belief system, values, what you stand for, because then everything else becomes easier to, everything else just makes sense when it aligns to a belief system. And I think some companies forget to be human and personal and remember their why and tell other people their why, because it's so much easier to translate. This is why we do what we do. This is why we sell what we sell.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Actually, my number one value and our company's non-coincidentally number one value is authenticity, which
Mm.
is all about, acting with integrity, and acting like who you are. And a lot of what we do is bring that to our clients and those that we serve as well. And I actually think that, if you do act with integrity and if you act like from a place of what you really believe in, you can never actually fail, because even if you fail in like the traditional measures of success, you stay true to what you believed in and what is important to you. And so that's, at the end of the day, all that will really matter. And I think that's something that we often forget as well.
Eva, do you believe in psychology?
Psychology.
Yeah, just the overall all thoughts of psychology.
Yeah, well, I studied experimental psychology and worked in a neuroscience lab for 4 years. So it's a big part of my
Okay, well,
belief
you're way too
system.
advanced for me compared to what I was about to say. But I was telling Jess last night about this bagel shop, this bagel pop up. And because it's a pop up and because it's limited, the psychological concept of going to wait in line for these dumb bagels is huge. And JC just posted your wait list uh, in the chat. I'm like, oh my God, she's got a wait list. I have to get involved in this. So,
Yeah.
like, talk about where you are in the process of your company, and
Yeah.
and is the wait list just a way to get me like really excited, or is like we're doing this in a slow, methodical, stress-free way to make sure that we have minimum lovable product instead of minimum viable product?
Yeah, honest answer is a combination of both. It's both like because we do need to manage demand and stage release of our coach, and both because it also makes for a good marketing tactic, leaning into the scarcity kind of behavioral science principle as well. But in terms of where we are, so we've actually had our product live for a few years. We're a human performance system, that's what we call ourselves, that's turning stress and resilience into more of a measurable driver of performance. And our platform is underpinned by what we've coined the WONE method, which is a three-step process to measure and build resilience. The first step is a measurement. So we have a scientifically validated measure of stress resilience that's been published, built with scientists from Stanford, Mayo Clinic, Harvard Business School. And we give everyone an individual profile of their stress and resilience based on psychological, physiological, kind of various behavioral signals. And then the second step is the recommendations, where we have our AI coach called Ori that recommends you different kinds of interventions based on your score. And over time, it learns and becomes like your accountability partner, your kind of in-pocket coach that nudges you before a stressful meeting, telling you to take a deep breath. Or if you're like, for example, traveling and you have jet lag, it will kind of give you a schedule beforehand so that you don't like lose sleep and that disrupts your stress. So it learns and adapts to your context and your stress profile. And then the third step is our interventions. And those are human led, delivered by our network of experts in various forms of preventative health. So things like mind based, movement based, nutrition, coaching. And that platform's existed for a while, but the AI coach Ori is what's new, and that's what we're gating under the wait list. Yeah, so that's the platform on the individual level. And then we also are B2B, so we work only with organizations. So we provide companies with a dashboard where they can see the overall health of their company, anonymized, aggregated. So, we never give individual data. And then also correlate that to business ROI. So look at the impact on things like sick leave, health claims, productivity, performance.
Could you talk about the relationship between stress and resilience?
Yes.
Um, so that I think that you're using them together, and I'm
Yeah.
curious as to how they go together.
Yeah.
I mean, I can
There,
make this up, but you'll have a much better way of explaining it than I could make up.
yeah. Well, I'd love to hear your explanation too, actually. I think it'd be interesting to hear.
No, I was at happening as you were talking about. I was like, okay, resilience. Like if I'm stressed,
Yeah.
based on how stressed I am I resilient, and how do I respond to the stress? That's as far
Yeah.
as my brain got.
Yeah. Yeah. No, exactly. And I think that's true. I think what's interesting is that so stress is like an environmental factor. It's the kind of in scientific terms, the psychological and physiological load on the body and mind. And when stress is unmanaged, that's when it starts to degrade kind of health, decision-making performance. And resilience is the capability. So it's actually a learned trait of being able to like have the right tools and frameworks to deal with that stress and respond appropriately. And so resilience could be things like, you know, being able to just deal with a higher workload of stress because maybe you can delegate better and you know how to manage your time better and you know how to be quicker and more efficient. Resilience can also be like learning when to say no and knowing when to take a break, knowing when to recover. But what we found in our research with our clients is that we see that as seniority rises, stress increases because managers typically have more demands, more workloads. But the other piece that's really interesting is that we see resilience also increases, which shows that
Hmm.
actually, in order to get into leadership roles, you need to build the resilience. And that's actually quite a big defining factor between leaders and non-leaders. I would say, especially in our world today, where, we're just seeing a totally different landscape of increased pressure and pace.
Dorothy gave me the perfect. I was going to ask how much I do agree, and it makes perfect sense that resilience is a learned
Mm,
trait, something that we can groom and build and become better at. Is there any part of it that is innate? Because I even look at my own kids. I could tell you without me teaching them anything, some of them are naturally more resilient. Some of them, like I have dozens, like, and I think some people feel like they're naturally, what are the characteristics that might make somebody naturally more resilient? Or is it
yeah.
like everybody has, starts from the same place?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. And actually, I think it really depends. Like resilience is, I think what's interesting is that our brains are plastic, right? And so what our brains are when we're born isn't fixed and it can actually change over time with experience. So it's kind of that nature nurture
That was
debate.
so beautiful what you just said. Our brains are plastic. Like I,
Yeah.
I, I don't feel like I don't think enough people act that way. Sorry to
Uh,
interrupt you, Reva. I had to think about it as you said it, and I was like, why do I run into? I run into people that have a lot of rock hard brains, not plastic brains. That's just who I'm hanging out with.
maybe. I mean, I think our brains are, yeah, like I think what's interesting is, this is like my neuroscience kind of geekiness coming back in, but there are studies showing that people who have things like brain surgeries, so they might have a stroke and a certain area of their brain will stop working, you'll see increased capabilities in other areas of their brains. So you'll actually see that with patients with phantom limb symptoms where they lose a limb, say in an accident or in war, they'll start to detect like new capabilities of sensory touch and heightened like awareness, and so that just shows actually our brains can adapt and move, and like when something happens that disrupts a certain area of the brain, it will then compensate in other ways. And I think that's something that we do often forget, that, even as adults, we can grow and learn. It doesn't all end when we end becoming teenagers.
So I'm sorry to interrupt what you were saying because it was about the plastic brain. But
Yeah.
where I like, and hopefully you'll probably talk about this. But can you measure how plastic or the plasticity of your brain per se?
Yeah. Uh, I'm not sure if there's a way to measure plasticity. It's a really interesting question, but I think people's brains can be plastic in different ways. Like someone who's a London black cab taxi driver, they have to study for 10 years and learn all the different roads in London. And they have a larger hippocampus, which is the area of your brain for spatial memory. So I think it depends on what your brain is learning and adapting to. So maybe, yeah, the ability to learn is kind of linked to resilience, but how plastic your brain is, I don't know. That could be an interesting research study to do, but I'm not sure it's ever been done.
Hmm.
So
Eh,
Williams, oh, go ahead. You want to keep,
Oh no, I was going to go to William's point.
yeah.
In Jess, which is how is this being received? Jess, I'm being cognizant of your noise back there. So if you can talk, if you want to go
I was
ahead, go
I
ahead.
was literally going to give you his question, Reva, as a softball, because I'm sure you have this conversation every day. Why are we still convincing the C-suite that this matters? And do they care? And are they correlating that to business performance? I
Yeah.
like it seriously amazes me. I've been in this industry a long time. The fact that we're still correlating, that we're still required to make a business case for a healthy, productive, thriving workforce to get business results. Like, oh my gosh, how many more ways do we need to connect the dots? What is this conversation looking like lately, Reva?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked that question. I actually have a bit of a controversial view on this, where I think it's good that C-suite leaders are asking for the links to business health outcomes and performance metrics, because it means that then, these kind of employee health issues are not treated as like a fluffy well-being nice to have that's just like, done to keep employees happy, but it's seen as imperative for healthy business functioning and performance. So I actually think it's really critical that employee health and well-being should be taken seriously at board level, measured with, proper performance metrics and rigor, because that's the only way we'll see it in that way. So a lot of why we've leaned so heavily into the science and into the AI is to make well-being measurable and quantifiable in in a typical business framework. And so because we have the measurement system for all individual employees, and we have the business risk questions as well and data, because we integrate with company systems and HRIS, we're able to then provide employees with an actual measurable ROI that takes in our scientifically validated resilience measurement and health measurement with business risk. So for example, one company we worked with.
Uh-oh.
Frozen.
She froze. Okay. Yeah. Jess, I like taking pictures of people when they're frozen. That's actually a pretty good
Ooh,
photo of her frozen,
I know.
right?
I was going to say it's complimentary. I got to see what book is being linked here. Ooh, the
Yeah.
brain that changes itself. That's a great recommendation, Smadar. Until she
But you,
unfreezes, I love where Rachel was going with her question, how this line of thinking evolves in the agentic AI era. I wonder if Reeva can still hear us. I wonder how Reeva or a neuroscientist would respond to the whole theory, I'll call it, that AI is, some people might say that AI makes people intellectually lazy, makes us dumber, dumbs us down a little bit. I know you and I both have a hot sports opinion about that, that's not true. But I wonder, and Rachel, I love your question as well. Hopefully she
yeah,
hears
and I
your
know, by the way,
signal.
Jess, this is the hot sports take on that.
Yeah.
I think that there is, I think that there. Sorry, I think I just came with a couple of beers. I think that I think that there is a possibility, depending on how you leverage AI, that AI could make you lazy, dumb, and stupid. I've
Yeah.
been watching this week the number of people who are saying that, you know, AI is, I mean, like, the only reason to use AI is to save time. I don't think that's true. Like, I think better outcomes and things like that are really, really important. And when Reva comes back, I'd love to talk to her about Ori, the AI tool in your pocket. Because for me, um, I mean, this is a really embarrassing thing to say, which I guess is just normal for me. But like, if Ori could help me through a stressful situation and had a way to sense my stress, that would be really interesting to me,
Totally.
to help me think through it. So I was playing my son, my 18-year-old, in NBA 2K. You know what that is, Jess? I mean,
Mm-mm.
you can imagine it's a video game.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if anyone else plays NBA 2K, but there's the kind of a running joke between my two boys that I've never won a game. For as long as I've been playing NBA 2K with them, which is probably a long time, I've never won a game. And they're like, you keep trying. Every time you play, you get in a bad mood. We're not going to keep playing with you. I'm like, yeah, you are. As long as you're in the house, you're going to keep playing with me. So literally, I was playing and I took Alex to overtime. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so close to winning. And my watch went off, signaling that my heart rate was racing. So I was like, I'm not really, like, I don't think I'm having a heart attack, but I am stressed because I really want to win this game. So, like, if there was a way that somehow you could, be, how do I say this? Like, not triggered. I hate that word. Like, it could
Mm.
sense that you were stressed and coach you
Hmm.
through that stress. I think that's a really valuable thing.
I agree. And I saved it. I'll see if I can be quick. I saved it in Substack. I read a great piece this morning about sort of the big myths that we're all obsessed with productivity and efficiency hacks, and the big value and benefit of AI is, finding a bit more margin, like a little bit more margin on efficiency gains, and how short-sighted that thinking is. When you talk about detection and intervention, that's not an efficiency hack. Yes, you're getting to something faster than you might have manual or other ways, but that's not the value. The value is, like, we have to redefine some of the potential wins here. It's not doing the same stuff faster and cheaper. That's not it. What we're talking about is especially along the lines of healthcare and mental health and well-being and stress management, intervention and detection, the other way around, detection, intervention, better outcome. That's a way different value conversation. And I think we're getting a little lazy about having that one as well. Not that the other one isn't important, especially from a business performance perspective, but we're forgetting to have the bigger wins conversation.
I love how Jay also added a book here on neuroplastic brains, The Way Out, which talks about neuroplastic pain and how some chronic pain is neuroplastic and the brain can be reprogrammed to eliminate
Wow.
it. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, is Reeva back? I see her I see her on my screen. I see her box on my screen, but I don't see her. Typing at the lip, but she's in the water. See, I told you she's somewhere
Just
between
trying.
New York and London.
Oh.
This is what happens when you live somewhere between New York and London, right? It's a really bad, another bad joke. So I guess my question is, like, when you think about, and I'm curious from our audience, if you had an AI coach, to help you with stress, would you prefer an AI coach or a human coach? And I asked the question knowing there's a difference between the two. I asked the question knowing that your stress coach could be in your pocket or next to your bed, and your human coach might not be available in the middle of the night if you're having a stress situation. But I'm still curious as to where people are on these things. Wow, look at that. Human, 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 human. Like, it's still the creepy AI thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know if it is or not. Like, personally, that's not me. Like, I mean, I've had amazing therapists in my life, but I would still love to talk. I would still love to have something that could truly help me in the moment.
Rachel, I will not mock your uncle's choice of an accent with his AI assistant. My daughter changed my Siri voice to an Australian male voice because she liked how the voice said car park when you're pulling into a parking lot, car park. And I'm not even doing it justice. And I'm like, I got so used to it. It was so soothing that when it changed back at some point, it defaulted back. I was really annoyed.
Do you think there's going to be a time where if we ask that question, that more people are going to say AI than human? And I'm not saying it's good or bad. So no one please, like, oh, I can't believe Jason would rather have an AI person than a human person. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just wondering if, and it's probably not a binary choice. It's probably both. But I'm curious. And Tilly, I agree with what you said. It bugs me how positive AI can be. I think I was sharing the story the other day. Reeva's back. I was sharing the story the other day that I was trying to install something, and the thing kept a piece of software, Claude or OpenClaw, and it kept telling me, "Oh, you're getting closer. You're getting closer. Good job, Jason. You're getting closer. Good job. Good job. Good job." I'm like, okay, 6 hours later, I'm still getting closer. Yes, that's a little too positive. But Reeva, welcome back. One of the things that we were talking about was, the use of AI, and if I asked the question for people in the chat if they were in a stressful moment, would they rather talk to an AI thing or a human thing? We had someone else, sorry, human thing, that was very sensitive. And then we had someone else that actually asked, in the world of agentic AI, has it changed your thought process about how you go to market, et cetera, et cetera? So welcome back. Maybe we can
Yeah.
catch you up on what you missed.
Yes, firstly, I'm so sorry. I had a massive technology error. Everything just crashed. But I'm back. I'm hotspotting though on my phone, so if the signal's not great, let me know.
This is
But
stress response, like literally stress response and
yeah,
resilience in action.
I was going to say that too. I was very much like, okay, just breathe.
Yes.
But I think yeah, around whether people would want to talk to a human or an AI coach when they're stressed. I think a big piece around this is, you know, actually AI can democratize access. Speaking to a coach is often prohibitive in terms of cost to most people. And so what we do is really believe in combining the AI and the human approach. So we do offer human intervention through like on-demand live sessions. Companies do sometimes pay for individual coaching for managers or certain trainings, but again, like getting that real-time 24/7 support from a coach would cost tens of thousands of dollars. And so being able to have that through AI, I think just gives access to people in a way that we never had before. And we're in this healthcare crisis, right? And workplace crisis where we're more stressed than ever before. About 86% of the workforce experiences stress, and half of those are experiencing chronic stress. And in this new world, it's just accelerating. So I think that the need is so high, and the urgency is so high that AI can bring a lot of that solution when it's used in the right way with the right intention.
Yeah, I think that's great. Now,
That's
if
yeah,
you
that's my view.
take that, well, take it to the next level and talk about this agentic piece of it. Like, so when we're thinking
Mm,
about agentic AI,
yeah,
and we're going. I used to, I used to call these bots or these things, like Ori, which I want to understand why Ori is named Ori because I always find this fascinating as well. But
yeah,
like most chatbots have been, I say three C's: creepy, crappy, or clunky. And I think that's why
yeah.
most people don't like them. Um, so I'm curious as to in this agentic era where these tools are learning you and they can individualize and personalize and they have a memory
Yeah.
unlike the
Yeah.
past. Is that changing
Yeah.
in your mind the way it looks like?
Yeah, 100%. I think we're actually entering a really exciting new era of human health where, actually AI, especially Gen AI, agentic AI, paired with, I think crucially when it's paired with data and behavioral science, that combination allows us to detect things like burnout before they escalate, before it becomes a crisis and you have to leave work or you have a health issue arise. And it can give you these kind of just in time interventions or nudges. And that can also the future of your health. So I think the opportunity is really exciting. And we're at this place now where we have that convergence of AI, of people wearing things like wearables that collect data about their health in real time. And I think a place in the world where people are and becoming more receptive to adopting these new technologies and a more preventative model in the workplace as well, which wasn't the case, 5, 6 years ago. Yeah.
This is always
Tell us about
where,
Ori.
oh yeah,
Sorry,
let's hear
Jess.
about
I
Ori.
want to hear about Ori. Like I was thinking, is
Yeah,
Ori
no,
your
let's do it.
partner's name? Is Ori your dad's name? Is Ori because one is so clever. Like Ori has to have a great story.
Yeah, yeah, it does as well. And I love this question, starting with the name. But Ori, so it comes from the Latin root, which is oriri, and it means to rise, like so to rise, to emerge into being. And it's also the root of like origin or compass or orientation. And that's exactly what Ori is meant to be. It's meant to be providing people with, we say it's like your compass, right? It provides you with that orientation through the complexity pace challenge, and it helps you move towards change. So the idea with Ori is that it has a few different modes. The first mode is just helping you interpret your data. I think a big piece is, people will see their data, like an HRV score, and just will have no idea what it means, right? My brother he started using Aura Ring recently, and he was like, I have no idea what all these scores mean. I just like seeing my scores go up, so that's why I use it. Yeah. And so what Ori does is it kind of connects those scores from your index and it tells you what it means. So it helps bring that awareness to interpret the scores, to spot patterns often before you'd even spot them or know what they mean. And then, oh, I love that Hebrew word. I didn't know that. That's beautiful. Uh, and then it delivers personal guidance. So it's kind of the so what. Once you understand your score and your health state, what do you do? So when, you see that pressure is maybe peaking, you're going into a busy period, Ori will then spot that, because it can integrate with workplace data and like your calendar as well. And it will tell you, okay, let's do a 5-minute reset before this meeting. So, for example, this meeting is 6 p.m. UK time. And so at the end of the day, Ori was like, why don't you do a quick 5-minute breathing practice so you have like a burst of energy before this talk. So that kind of just in time guidance is another mode. And then the final one is really supporting behavior change and reflection. So helping you make sense of your patterns, spot those patterns and behaviors, and calibrate accordingly. So I'm, for example, terrible at any kind of routine. Ori will understand that. It will help slot things, not say you've got to do your like miracle morning for an hour is sustainable for me. Uh,
I
Love that.
love I love the behavior coaching as well because most people would say they know what to do. It's just doing it routinely and regular. People know they need more sleep. They know they should get out and move their body and get some sunlight. Like people know it's just making it a practice to put yourself first or to stop in the moment, even if it is just a 5-minute breathing exercise. So I love that accountability coach part of this. It's not just telling you what you might already sense, I'm stressed or whatever. It's giving you the moment of pause and holding you accountable to the quick intervention. Yes, Tracy,
yeah,
we know we
yeah. I
shouldn't
think
sit at our
also there's a
desk for
difference
12
between
hours.
awareness and action. Like exactly, like I know I shouldn't sit at my desk for 12 hours. I study this day in and day out, but I still do. And I think that's where the accountability becomes really important and knowing actually when you should do that meditation versus when it's okay to actually stretch a little bit longer and understanding these signals and knowing actually when you do need a break versus when you can work a little bit harder. So I think it's quite a complex balance and as we were saying before about resilience not being fixed, it's also very individual. So someone may have a very different resilience profile to another person, and what may, make me really stressed and have low resilience may actually be nothing for you, Jess, and you may think it's like totally normal. And so that's the individual difference also important to acknowledge.
One last question. I know we're almost out of time, and thank you for taking the time. I know it's late there. When you think about where you're where you want to take one, like where do you see it? Because I could easily see like where my brain going is why is one a concept not integrated to my loop? Or Reba, while you were gone, I was sharing a story about how my stress rate or heart rate went up and why it's not integrated into my Apple Watch, or why my Apple Watch says I have a stress level, why it's not coming through my AirPods, some real time coaching. Like, where do you see taking this? Do you see it being its own platform long term? Is it a feature? Just love your thoughts.
Yeah, it's something that I'm really open to. I mean, I'm very clear on our North Star, which is building stress intelligence in 100 million lives. And so that's my ultimate goal. how we get there, I'm open to. At the moment, we're going, to companies selling into organizations, because that way we help not just the individual, but also the organization. But we're also exploring conversations with partners who are really interested in licensing our measurement and our AI into their platforms to power their capabilities. And so I think for me, like, I can't predict the future, and in a startup, every day is different, let alone year. But I think, having that North Star very clear means that how we get there, the process, I'm more open to changing, but the outcome I think is clear.
I love
Um,
it. Reeva,
hey,
you have been
Reeva.
so resilient with us.
Reeva, I have one more question. Can you hear me?
Yes, go for it.
Reeva, I just got
Yes.
notified that my flight and Jess's flight was delayed 223 minutes,
No.
which I can't even calculate. I mean, I can calculate how long that is, but that's a long freaking time.
Why are we here at the airport? Let's go
What do
back
I do
into the
with my
city.
stress level? What do I do with my stress level right now, Reeva?
That means
I would say
Jason,
going for a long walk. Yeah. Yeah. And doing whatever it is to relieve your stress. So if that is going to get a drink, then go for it. Whatever your brain needs to develop that stress relief.
Thank you. Hey, it's so great to see what you're doing in the space. Lovely having you here, and hopefully I'll see you in Amsterdam in April. It would be great to connect at HR Tech Europe. But great to have you on.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm sorry about the Wi-Fi disruption. I really enjoyed it.
For
oh,
everyone,
this
I hope
was
you have
so
a
much
great
fun.
weekend. I hope you have a great Valentine's Day, Galentine's Day, President's Day in the U.S. Have a great weekend, everyone. Take care.
Thanks, everybody. Bye, Reeva.